cardiovascular disease is one of the leading causes of death in both men and women in Canada. This is a serious issue, but the good news is there's lots we can be doing in terms of our lifestyle that can make a difference in the way we feel today and in the future. I'm happy to have Victoria Resendez with me, naturopathic doctor, to talk about this issue. Welcome, Vic.
Good to be here.
So when we're talking about cardiovascular disease in both men and women, there's so much to consider. And one of the things I know that you talk a lot about is lifestyle. How does lifestyle impact cardiovascular health?
In a multitude of ways. Unfortunately, a family history we can't necessarily do too much about, but that lifestyle portion of cardiovascular health is a big one where we can do a lot of beneficial changes. So, obviously the basic ones, making sure you have regular workouts or exercise routine in place, making sure that your diet is quite healthy. So limiting those foods that are not that good for us in terms of blood pressure, making sure you're not having too much caffeine or too much salt, excess red meats, things like that. So just being mindful of having whole, lean meats and foods.
Right, and of course smoking, a big key that we have to be considering.
Absolutely.
Now, what about supplements, and how can we help apart from our diet to make a difference with cardiovascular health?
Well, great question. And there's certainly things that I try to work with patients and make sure they're getting it through their food primarily. But there are a lot of supplements that unfortunately are derived from food, but we can't get enough of it in our diet. So something like a fish oil, a really high quality fish oil, is fantastic. It has it's high in omega-3 fatty acids, which really helps with maintaining healthy blood pressure. It's an anti-inflammatory as well. So for all chronic inflammatory conditions, this is one supplement that has a great deal of benefits.
And there's lots of great research supporting this as well, in the literature as well.
Definitely. For vegetarians and those who may be allergic, for example, to certain fish that are used for the fish oils, flax oil is the other alternative. You just have to take a little bit more of the flax oil to get the same benefit as you would from a smaller amount of the fish oil, but still very high in omega-3s. And doing the flax seeds or hemp seeds is really good because it does have a small amount of omega-3, but really good in terms of fiber content. Right. So helping with cholesterol, which is the other aspect of cardiovascular health.
Now, I know we talk a lot about homeopathy and what we can be doing from that perspective with cardiovascular health. Can you speak to that a little bit, and what are some tips that people can have at home to help in that perspective?
Well, I use more herbal medicines,
right.
So using the crude form of the herbs. There are a number of different formulations depending on what the specific concern is of the patient. One of the most commonly used herbal preparations is something called hawthorn. It's been used traditionally for hundreds of years, but it is specific for strengthening the heart muscle. It can actually help lower blood pressure because it does relax and dilate those blood vessels, and it improves muscular contraction of the heart. So it actually has been studied to have beneficial effects for people with early stage congestive heart failure. But overall, for the general population, it is good just in terms of just improving overall blood flow.
Okay, and how do we get hawthorn into our diet?
It's there you can do, and again I would say that it's always check with your healthcare practitioner, because especially if you are on any medications, you want to make sure what you're taking from a natural perspective is safe, right, and not going to interfere with any medications. But you can get it in capsule form, tincture. I like it as a tea because it is very gentle and soothing.
And easy to take.
Easy to take and still effective. If you are going to be taking something, again, make sure that it has a natural health product or a DIN, which is a drug identification number on it, so that you know you're getting something that is pharmaceutical grade. Right. Also, you have to look at that. If it has a therapeutic effect, again, making sure that it has contraindications or safety labeling on the box to make sure you're being safe.
Now, we always talk about traditional medicinals, and because the reason we love it so much is because it does meet all these criteria, and their new heart health tea that is being released will have all of that listed on the box, and you know you're getting a good quality
The main
product.
herb in there is the hawthorn.
Okay, there we go. And of course, sleep is always a big one to reduce stress, and so many of us are sleep deprived. That's an important issue with heart health as well.
It's an important issue for everyone to make sure you're getting a good sleep. So simple tricks there again, limiting the caffeine, which isn't good for heart health as it is, but reducing the caffeine as much as possible, especially later on in the day. Making sure you're getting a good workout. That will help with sleep as well at the end of the day. Lavender, something like putting a lavender scent on the pillow is another way to help promote relaxation. Again, herbal teas. Nighty Night Tea by Traditional Medicinals is a great one.
Yep.
Blends chamomile and a couple different herbs to promote relaxation and more of a sedative effect. Chamomile lavender, that's another tea. You can actually not only put lavender on your pillow, but also in a tea.
Right, so there's lots of options, and it's such an important topic. Thanks for joining us today. Of course, we want your heart to be healthy, so make sure you pay attention to what you're putting into your body. Get moving, because that's really, really important. You want to have a strong and healthy heart.